Welcome to Quintessential Comics, episode 19, book club edition, Autobio. Ready? It's Chester Brown and Persepolis. That's what we got there. We had a number of issues filming today's episode. It almost didn't happen, but you know what I said? I said the show must go on. It doesn't matter if I forgot my makeup bag at home, or the studio was used for an hour, or that the library is on strike and that we had to find alternative ways to get the books. No, we'll bring you a show every week, we say so, because that's how we do. No disappointments here. If you didn't hear last week, we're going to be at Wizard World. It's going to be great times. We're also having our season finale show here in the studio April 11th. You can go to the T.Comics Facebook page. It's literally facebook.com/T.Comics. The event info's there, and you're totally welcome. So come join us. And without further ado, we bring you this next amazing episode of Quintessential Comics.
There you go.
Welcome to Quintessential Comics Book Club Autobio Edition!
Yay!
Sweet. Today we are joined, as usual, by Dave, our usual camera technician, and Matt, my co-host. And we have a special guest today, the lovely and talented Leslie Davidson, who recommended our some of our books today. So,
hi.
Excellent recommendation. These are really good books.
I know, they're awesome.
Yeah.
Now I'm screwing them up. There we go.
It's great because over this I got to talk to Chester Brown. We got him in the studio next week.
Super relevant, tying shows together. Very
yeah. So let's just jump into it. What do you guys want to start with?
War, death, torture, or sex? People?
Start with sex.
Let's start with sex.
Good choice. Always start
Which
with
ultimately
sex.
leads to war and torture. That's my joke. I'm out. No.
Done. Make my exit while I'm ahead.
I'm not going to be funnier than that. I got to leave now.
So I was first introduced by Chester Brown to Chester Brown's Paying For It. I went to the opening launch party, and him and a former sex worker who's also now a columnist, I can't remember her name, it was like Sandra or something. They did a reading of it, and it was like pretty freaking hilarious, and so I was like, I have to buy this book. And it kind of bothers me that it takes a while for him to actually get to having prostitute sex. So yeah, the first quarter of the book is him like wrestling with the decision, like, should I get a prostitute? And then the second quarter is like him being all like, all right, I'm gonna get a prostitute, where do I find them? Like scouring street corners. I liked that part, it was really funny.
I kind of disagreed. I thought it kind of got to it pretty quickly. I was expecting there to be more about him, like just leading up to him eventually getting a prostitute. I didn't think they'd go right into it. Like they did get to it fairly quickly, faster than I expected. Because when I thought of the idea like paying for it, I figured there'd be a little bit more at the beginning where he's
just like morally
like talking to his friends more and like just discussing it and being awkward and not being able to figure out where to go for it. But they got into the crazy sex pretty quickly, I found. It kept my attention.
You were just waiting for it.
I was.
I felt like after finishing reading, I was fine with the pacing, but after finishing reading it, I felt really strongly that he was writing this with an agenda. And that was part of the setup, was him setting up the previously unsatisfying relationships, or the setting up the having to be in a relationship to get sex, and setting up kind of why he wanted to go and pay for it. So I can see kind of the preamble.
Well, what do you think his agenda is?
He's very clear what his agenda is. Like, did you read the theses in the middle?
It was
too
like,
long, didn't read,
introduction?
All the endnote stuff, like the bibliography and stuff, like I couldn't get through it. It was too dry and too...
I read the most, for the most part, but yeah, it was very lengthy, just him talking about his own views on the subject. But I also was just kind of shocked because I was reading the book and I was like, oh, I got so much left, and Wait, it's over?
And it's over, and now
God.
it's Chester Brown's
Yeah.
ideas about prostitution, relationships, and the way it should be done, really. I mean, that for me, like, I'm totally on board with legalizing prostitution, legalizing brothels, like, that, yay,
Which
Toronto, almost legal. We're so timely.
Yeah, and they're in the process of doing it, and they've just announced in the courts that it's legal to work in a brothel and legal to, there was something else around it.
Was it legal to like drive a prostitute somewhere, something like that?
Yeah, it was legal for prostitutes to hire
You could be a
bodyguards.
pimp, but you can't be a prostitute.
Or you can
Fuck off.
No.
Oh, sorry, that's our one.
That's one.
F-bomb.
That's one you get.
My bad.
Well, shit.
But seriously,
It's been
you
like
can-
5 minutes.
I know.
Ask
You can
Spider-Man, everyone
be
gets
you can
one.
be a pimp, but you can't be a prostitute.
I think that's the deal.
Yeah.
I need to read it over
Wait.
again.
But
Brothels are legal.
they're
But
trying
to run a brothel is legal. Is it still illegal to be a prostitute and
it's
have
only-
sex for pay?
it's solicitation outside of the brothel.
That's illegal.
That's
yeah,
illegal.
they don't want people on street
So
corners.
they can't advertise for it then.
Well, they can put like milkshakes.
I'm pretty sure like
I feel like
milkshakes.
And then you go
Our
inside,
milkshakes
Bring
bring all the
all the
boys to the yard.
it's a tried and tested business plan.
Yeah, and
fancy
now
enough milkshakes.
prostitutes are allowed to like hire bodyguards
Yeah,
and
security and
drivers
drivers.
and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Okay,
So
cool.
that's pretty
It's all
cool.
good.
Do you think Chester Brown's paying for it in this like all-telling autobiography? Do you think it had something to do with the court's decision?
I think there's always like literature around controversial topics and never necessarily has something to do with it. I think the people that were supporting it probably would read this book and agree, but it's likely just like-minded people like Chester Brown. I don't know if his work was that influential to it, but it's very well written. But I don't think
I don't think
it alone.
I don't think
caused
it,
that.
I don't think it was going to change anyone's mind
Yeah,
at all. But just opening up a dialogue, especially in such an accessible form like comics,
Yeah.
is a great way to get people
There might
reading
have been
about.
someone on that subcommittee who just like happened across it and was like, oh yeah, hey, tiny bald guy with penis.
Yeah, well, I really enjoyed it because
Penis.
That's right.
it's actually a fig leaf
Yeah.
masquerading as a penis.
We can
saw
drop the
they
F-bomb,
were-
but we still can't drop penises. Peni?
Peni.
Is it really peni?
No.
Oh,
It's penises.
penises.
lots of dirty talk on the show today.
What'd you do tonight? Oh, I talked about penises on film with Alice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
sorry.
when it comes to accessibility, I mean, when I first read this book, like I didn't know much about prostitution or how it was done or anything really around it. But I was, I'm always open to ideas. I'm always open to the no, not the idea of getting
Learn
a
a new
prostitute. Guys, I'm not doing that. Not happening. But I'm always open to knowing more about a subject. There we go. Knowing more about a subject. So I feel like this really opened my mind up to the idea of, what a prostitute is and around it and stuff.
I was really interested. I've always wanted to know what that was like and how that
Works.
would happen. Now, I'm not sure that Chester Brown's way of dealing with a prostitute is the typical prostitution experience.
But it was interesting.
No, it is interesting, and I'd love to see inside people's houses. I told you that. I'd love to see, that's why I love Autobio, is because I want to see inside people's lives. Totally.
Nice.
Well, yeah. But, I mean, I really have to take issue with his calling traditional monogamous relationships evil.
Yeah.
Evil, Chester? Really? Evil.
I gotta say, at least 50% of his arguments are reasonable. 50% of them seem like they would work for maybe him and like 5 other people in the world, but for most people it's probably not going to. Most people have too much emotional attachment to be that detached.
Yeah, and it is detachment. And I also take umbrage with the idea that he proposes that this is a more evolved relationship and that eventually we'll all get there. And that's implied in his argument, is that if you're not participating in this particular relationship right now, you will eventually, because it's the future of humanity. And I mean,
Not all of us can afford hookers, Chester.
yeah.
Yeah, well,
That's my
I mean,
main qualm is financial constraints. I'd be right there with him. But I don't have a
See,
job.
but okay, here's an idea though as well, right? Like as much as I support the legalization of prostitution, I would hate to think that my husband or my lover was frequenting a prostitute.
Yeah.
You know, I'd hate that idea.
I wouldn't mind if a friend of mine was doing it, but I mean, someone who I was involved in a relationship with is completely different because I engage in a monogamous relationship, and I feel like there's obviously it's different for everybody, and everyone's got different preferences. And I feel like most of all, that's what I took away from this book is that everybody's different when it comes to sex. And, you know, this is one way of looking at it. You know, the monogamous traditional relationship is another way of looking at it. But there's just so much out there, and everybody's got a different preference.
And I would argue that Chester is saying that your way is wrong.
That
Again, that's why I said I agree with like 60% of what he says. I agree with his opinions on the matter, but like not like
how forcibly they're put forth.
He called it evil. Evil!
We gotta find that page and put it up there.
Yeah, evil. But I
do believe that the idea of putting people, stereotyping people and saying everybody needs this monogamous relationship, I feel like that is evil. To say that, you know, this is normal and that everybody should have this. I feel like that is evil, to put people in boxes, but I feel like that's my opinion about labels and boxes all in general.
I hate boxes.
Don't put people in boxes, yo. Take off the box. Open your mind.
Box man.
He's
the evil Captain Monogamy is coming for us. Doctor Monogamy. If you're a bad guy, you're Doctor. Doctor Monogamy versus Captain Infidelity.
Captain Polygamy. Really.
Captain Polygamy, I like that.
Yeah, infidelity is implying something wrong about having sex with multiple partners. And that's not what I'm saying. Sex is good. Spread the love.
So,
everyone's awkward now.
So overall, how did you guys feel about this book? Out of like, yay or nay?
I think yay. It was a really, really well done. There were times I just completely forgot it was a comic book in a way. Just like it has, of course, art and it's very like basic kind of drawing, but it read kind of like it could be like a little novella. Like you could read it start to finish as a book. Like you could definitely reprint it as like a full book. But it was really, really well written. The art.
Apparently he started it like 5 times. Like he restarted it and then he reformatted it. You know, and then he had to start it again because he wasn't happy with it. I mean, he's a perfectionist when it comes to his art, and it shows in the work that he produces.
I feel like the art style really matches the content. You don't want super detailed art style when you're, you know, seeing Chester Brown in a hooker club.
It did fit the subject matter.
I mean, honestly, it was tittillating to see Chester Brown having sex. I really did feel like I was peeking in the window. I mean, that's one of the allures of the book. Is the voyeuristicness. Yeah. It's just
this is nutty.
Oh my god.
I never really got that. I found the whole like experience of reading it like almost non-sexual because he goes about it in such a serious manner. Like there'll be one panel of like banging and then there'll be like serious, thoughtful conversation for other 6 panels afterwards. It kind of brings you completely out of the mood that he may have had for that one shot. It's true.
It's true. It wasn't.
I feel like he did that on purpose.
It was not wet.
Most awkward book club conversation ever.
Paying for it. Drier than an 8-hour turkey.
Just a little bit inappropriate. I say definitely yay. I also like to be challenged, and I like to not agree with things. It's pussy to just have things in your life that you agree with 100%. So
it's a little hard to have an argument with a book sometimes, though, without looking like a crazy person.
Shut up! What? You're wrong. So yay or nay?
Yay! Yay! All thumbs up, yay.
Yeah,
sorry.
Yeah.
We're not doing star ratings anymore.
We can do star ratings.
Give it
5 yays.
5 yays out of.
That's my rating.
I give it 7 flaccid Chester penises out of 9 flaccid Chester penises.
What a hard
7 out of 9.
I live outside the box.
It's good, man. It opens up your worldview.
It's true. That's a wacky fraction. Name it.
I'm not rating it.
You don't have to, man.
No, I can't follow up to Flaccid Chester Penis.
True. Should we move to Persepolis now?
Yeah, maybe we should compose ourselves a little.
Yes.
And talk about
Darker subject matter.
the Muslim Revolution.
Yeah, so I found Persepolis really educational as well as enjoyable. I feel like that's the same for both books. It's really cool to see Autobio and to see sort of the Islamic Revolution from a child's perspective, and see things that mattered to her. And when she was growing up, she thought she was going to be the last prophet and talk to God before she went to bed.
Yeah. It's got that feel of a lot of stories. Like they've been using that kind of formula for a lot of things recently, like Pan's Labyrinth, Tideland, sort of stuff like that.
Like from the view of a child.
A child's view of like kind of a more fanciful view of a very serious subject matter, and this was incredibly effective, especially considering they continue on. Like there's going to be no sequel to Pan's Labyrinth because the ending, no spoilers.
It pretty much ends.
Yeah. But Persepolis, it was really cool to see where they go with it, and I'm hoping there's a third. Honestly, I don't know if there will be. I think that's pretty much.
I think it's pretty complete, but she has other books that are really good. I like how even though it's a really serious subject matter, she's got all these like joke scenes in the book.
She definitely lightens the mood a lot, and the art helps with that quite a bit. The way it's kind of simple, but at times it gets really, really complicated. Like
she does a lot of patterning, which I really love. It's just patterning and texture.
It's beautiful.
It's repeated. And just to talk about the style for a minute, at first glance you think it's like a very unformed or untrained style, but then the more that I look, the more I realize like she's really got her art cojones together. Like there's a lot of patterning and thoughtful composition, and use of blacks are incredible to really paint the scene too.
I feel like the same goes for both these books. In order to make your comic feel real to the reader, and for the reader to really put yourself in the character situation, you gotta simplify it. It can't be really detailed, extravagant like Francis Manapul stuff, even though he's awesome. It's it's just simple, like Scott McCloud said, two dots and a curve, and you see yourself in there. You see a human, you see a smile.
It's true. I never thought about that as observing like a more elaborate or detailed or finished piece puts the viewer as an observer as opposed to this type of style, which leaves so much open for you to interpret, so you are welcomed into the art.
In both cases,
for you, girl.
In both cases, with both books, the times where the art's really simple definitely adds to it. Like I liked how when she draws herself as a child, it's a bit less detailed. She kind of draws in a way that a child would draw herself at times, but then she gets really more intricate as it goes along. The same style kind of continues in the next one. I remember there's one image that I got. I was reading it, and I thought it was just so great. Was when her and another girl get stoned, and then you flip the page, and it goes from like very basic drawings, and then it's that swirly, they're both high, and their faces are turning around, and the nose becomes a spiral. And I liked the art, and it was tremendous. I was very impressed.
As an artist, though, as a cartoonist, I'm listening to you. In the beginning, when it's very simple as a child, and I'm thinking to myself, yeah, maybe that's just because her style got more confident and better as she kept drawing. From volume 1 to volume 2, big change. But it's nice to see, as a cartoonist as well, I like to see the evolution of an artist's art. It's part of the enjoyment of it.
Yeah. So I found the thing that I really liked about Persepolis is I read it for the first time in high school, like 4 or 5 years ago. And there are moments within the books that I read that stuck with me for years, and I still like remember them like brightly.
Are you gonna tell the story? Are you gonna say it? Are you gonna say it? Are you gonna say it?
I guess I have to
Yeah, say it.
now.
Are you gonna?
So.
Huh? Wait, what?
So there's this part in the book where, you know, as a child, she wants to be cultured, but at the same time, her society is all like it's all being oppressed, pretty much. So her uncle brings her tons of stuff from out of the country, and the way he smuggles it in is really funny. He smuggles in a Michael Jackson poster and sews it into the lining of his jacket, and so he's like all square as he like walking through like customs and stuff. So that's one moment that really stuck with me, that was like really funny moment. And at the same time, another moment that really stuck with me was there was a part where as a child she's living through a bombing, and her, you know, everyone's like running from their houses and stuff, and she's running from her house with her family, and she passes her friend's house, and she sees something like glittering in the rubble, and she's like, oh, that's my friend's bracelet. She like leans to go over there, and her mother, you know, drags her off, and then as she's leaving, she can see the bracelet still attached to her friend's wrist. And it's like giving me chills as like I'm talking about it, and I feel like that's really good storytelling.
Yeah.
It's really good storytelling when a moment like that like stays with you and you like feel it.
Yeah, but think about it, how different that is from growing up in Canada, North America. Like, we haven't had a war fought on our land since 1812. I mean, we should really hold that up higher as something to aspire to, and really embrace that, when all over the world there's wars going on, you know, repeatedly. And
daily there's wars going on everywhere.
Yeah, and people lose childhood friends, like, you know, I don't know. People die in car crashes here. So they're not buried beneath rubble. Okay, sorry, I took a weird turn.
So I thought Persepolis was great, but I'm going to say one little caveat I had with it, one little problem I had, was the very, very ending. The like absolute last page of it.
That one?
Of that one,
yeah.
of the second one.
Yeah.
I felt like it could have been ended a bit better, but it was just kind of abrupt. It's like, and I lived, also Grandma died. That. Literally
Spoilers.
The last one. Well, they're supposed to read along.
Oh.
Literally the last thing they mention is, oh, also Grandma died.
I love Grandma.
And then that was the end of it. They could have had more of a conclusion to it, but it was more like, also later on, yeah, Grandma died. It was like the end of.
That was the last time I saw her.
And that was the last time I saw Grandma. She's dead now.
Yeah.
You could have left that out. Don't
Grandma
totally
lives
downer us for that.
forever.
Grandma lives, like make it, and then maybe end it with like, to my grandma, thank you, or something like that. Maybe like that, but just the bluntness of it was like, oh yeah, also Grandma's dead.
Grandma, I'm sorry you're dead.
Yeah, I feel the same way about the ending. I feel like it is a bit abrupt because the story itself, and when you're reading it, it's got such a good flow from page to page.
Yeah.
I feel like it should have like ended more slowly.
Yeah.
It should have, you know, been tied up in a nice ribbon. But I guess that's another reflection on just how life is.
Yeah.
Did any of you see the movie?
I did my absolute best to not watch the movie.
Oh.
As soon as I heard that we were doing it, I was like, I should not watch the movie.
Oh, yeah.
No, not out of like spite or anything. I wasn't like.
You just didn't want your opinion.
I didn't want
colored
my
by
opinion
it.
colored by the movie. I felt like.
I saw the movie, but it was a really long. It was like when it came out originally, and I saw it in French with subtitles. Because that's how I watch foreign films, in their native language with subtitles. And it was really good. It was close to the book, but it was different, you know, in a way. But you know, like she was like the art director on it, and they did a bunch of it themselves.
How did you feel that the addition of music and dialogue, like audio and movement, impacted the storytelling? Sorry, I'm taking things off track, but I'm
That's cool.
interested to know what you thought.
Yeah.
Because I didn't see it.
I wish I saw it more recently so I could give you a better answer, but it's definitely different. I feel I can connect more to a comic just because that's like my personality. I really like comics, and I like curling up with it rather than, you know, somebody else putting their own soundtrack to it. But I felt like it was pretty well done for the content, and I feel like it it matched it a lot, but at the same time, like, I imagine the voices differently in my head. It's the
Right.
same. It's the same thing with any book to movie type thing.
Right.
Yeah, honestly, that always throws me off when the voices change from what I remember. The only time that it's ever worked perfectly was when I read the Harry Potter books when I was younger. Snape sounded like Alan Rickman in my head.
Really?
Already, yeah.
It's so funny that you bring that up because I was thinking about Harry Potter as you're saying that, because I read the books after I watched the movie, so the characters are actually all the characters from the movie. Yeah, they look like that, they sound like that.
Yeah,
It meshed perfectly.
my brain Snape was Alan Rickman.
It's awesome.
My brain Snape.
That's perfect. He's awesome.
So yeah, I really enjoyed just getting to know that era and that place and that time. Like, I wouldn't have read like a 20-page essay about the subject, but I read the comic, and this is how I get my knowledge. This is how I'm cultured by it. So it's really amazing that there are people who do Autobio comics and really bare their soul and tell their personal stories about these, troubled times.
I totally agree. And Guy Delisle is another one who does Autobio comics that teach you so much about the place that he's living in a really accessible, unwanted, poke your eyes out kind of way. Like,
man, we should have done Pyongyang too.
I know, dude. I'm just thinking about that. Let's talk about it anyway. Screw it. Like,
you guys are just like question marks over your heads.
Sorry.
Let's add those after.
But that's exactly Pyongyang. I had no idea about North Korea at all.
Yeah.
And he was like there experiencing it, and it was really Pyongyang people.
Yeah, I know,
so
it's
good.
really
and
cool.
Shenzhen was pretty good, just not as
he's done more travel logs, but I felt like that Pyongyang was really good because you don't get a lot of insight into what North Korea is. I mean, you look at it on Google Maps, and they'll show you where the capital city is. They'll show you where Pyongyang is, and that's it. That's all they have on Google Maps because they can't get in there. Nobody can get in there. So it's like really great that people go around the world and live through different experiences and do Autobio comics about that. So more Autobio comics. You got a story, give it to us.
He's doing Jerusalem, right?
Yeah.
It's coming out in October. Can't wait. Can't wait. He's one of my favorites. It's really good.
So,
Cool beans.
Yay, nay, Persepolis?
I'm gonna go with definitely yay. I feel like since we got this big verses up on the thing, we should do some kind of comparison or like which we like better kind of thing.
How many dicks in each?
I don't think I'm gonna rate.
This one wins.
I'm not gonna rate Persepolis with dicks. I don't think.
No, please don't. I'm gonna get an angry email from like Mary Sean Strappy being like, "I don't know who you are, but I saw that segment of your show and that dick reference was terrible."
She would laugh. She wrote embroideries, dude. She would laugh.
I'm sure she would
so
laugh.
hard.
I'm just joking.
She'd be like, "More dicks."
All right, then 9 flaccid Chester Brown dicks out of 10 for Persepolis. That is how I'm going to rate dicks from now on.
Flaccid Chester Brown penises.
Yeah.
I love it.
I hope he doesn't. I hope he doesn't watch this
You
before
get
our
lots of
interview.
dicks.
I don't know if he has internet in his house.
I don't think he does.
He's a very...
He has a home phone. I was like, "Hey, can I reach you by email?" He's like, "No, I got this home phone." I was like, "Okay."
Yeah, it's awesome.
I have a home phone.
You don't have a home phone?
I do have a home phone.
Okay.
I don't have a home phone.
No, you have a cell phone.
No,
You're
but
one
I
of the
don't.
new...
We should stop talking
The
about
new
this.
millennium.
I also don't have
Sorry.
TV. I don't have cable at all. I have internet.
I rate this conversation
That's-
7 out of 9.
Classic Instagram.
We'll talk about cell phones.
So, well, let's just compare. Overall, which did you enjoy reading more?
Persepolis. It made me... the war and the revolution made me less angry than Chester Brown's comments on relationships and monogamy. Bah!
Well, we know Leslie Davidson has very strong opinions about it because she wrote her own Autobio comic online called Peeling Onions. You should check it out and read it.
Do it.
Though she's on to a new
Do
project
it.
now, so don't get mad at her because she's finished that.
It's over. But it's still good. It's still there. Read it. Go do it.
We should put the
So Matt, which one do you like better?
I actually liked Paying for It better.
Because you're a boy and there was
No.
sex and boobs.
No, actually.
And the
I didn't read
JJs.
the
There was a
book,
lot
so-
more dick.
There was way more dick. Actually, that's one of the awesome things is
So much dick.
there was so much dick in it, yeah. But okay, honestly, I have to
Whole
say
mess of
this, and I'm sorry, I'm
Pile of
totally.
dicks.
It was a pile of dicks.
Bag of dicks.
Bag of dicks.
Cape
Were
of
they
dicks.
upright or just. But
Louis C.K. reference. All right, let's continue.
okay, seriously though, I have to. I was a little offended by the rating of the women.
Yeah.
You know, oh, a little too fat, boobs aren't big enough, her waist isn't, blah, blah, blah. Like, it was really horrifying to me on one way to know that if he thinks that and is willing to put it out in a book, all guys everywhere are having that inner dialogue in their head as they approach and rate women. Period. No, just
Well,
women, period.
I feel like he could do it and get away with it because it's prostitutes. But yeah, that's pretty much how men think of
yeah,
women.
but that's-
and it's really sad. And our society is seriously fucked up for having women and men on way different levels. And that's my one
What do you mean?
F-bomb
You have
for
to-
Yeah, that is
no,
disagree.
like,
I think
levels of what?
Everyone
What do
does
you
it.
mean?
I mean, like,
Yeah, literally everybody does that.
everyone does that. I mean, they don't
See,
go on a website and rape people, but, you know, that was...
It's true. Yeah, you're probably right. But I don't know if it's as blatant about physical body parts.
Well, I mean...
And women, I think, may rate you more on your personality and your humor and maybe your voice or...
I think this is kind of a generalized statement. Like, there are guys who don't outwardly rate women by their like physical properties, and there's women who like do outwardly rate men by
it's
physical properties.
it's a
Just
larger
different
conversation about how women and men are raised to pretty much think differently about each other.
But I think in the context... of
It's
the book-
true.
And I'd
Where
be
did I see this?
and I'd be happy to have that conversation with you because I've been researching a lot of it and thinking
There
about
was this-
feminism a lot.
Yeah, well, there was this guy who did this.
Inequality.
This is so stupid. This guy on this site who did this thing. It's on a podcast with Yaro Starak, who's on the entrepreneur's journey, and he has a. I'm sorry, I'm not plugging him. I'm just
Sorry,
telling
no, it's
people.
funny. Go ahead.
But he had this dating site, and he said explicitly, women have to be pretty on a dating site to get dates. Men can be fairly ugly and fat and bald, but providing that they have money and status, they will also get dates. Now that's a comment on women as well,
Yeah,
you know.
for sure.
But I mean, he said.
I'm not
straight
saying
up,
it's one
a
way.
man doesn't seem to care one way or another what a woman is doing with her life or her brain, generally. And I'm not saying you guys like.
Yeah, when I go on a dating website, I'm looking for a sugar mama. I need someone to buy me dinner. Honestly.
Trying my boyfriend.
But I mean, I'm just saying that was his experience on his own dating site of what was working for the sexes.
So
We went
yeah, that's
really off topic.
That's a really off-topic conversation for another time.
But
and
it's
I'd be-
not. It's perfectly like legitimate to Chester Brown's rating of the women based on their boob size and maybe they're too fat.
Well, but I mean, like I was saying, in the context of the book, right, what he's doing is he's paying for sex, right? And if you
So-
have preferences for sex,
Yeah.
then it kind of makes sense. I mean, it's not the
I-
right thing necessarily, but in the context, it makes sense.
I agree
Yeah,
with you.
no, I absolutely
You
understand
go to
why
a
he was
restaurant,
doing
you
it.
order a rare steak, you get well done, you say, okay.
Rate them that.
That's really terrible comparison.
You just compared women to a piece of meat.
Literally.
Congratulations,
I'm
you're
a
never
monster.
coming back in the studio.
9 flaccid Chester penises out of 9.
I was joking, and I'm a monster.
So, as far as I could tell, we really enjoyed Autobio in general. Really enjoyed all of these books. So you should read them if you haven't already.
Autobio kicks ass.
And check out more Autobio stuff
It
because
really
it's a really interesting way to explore different experiences and different genres and different places in the world.
Yeah, and Alison Bechdel is your lesbian doorway for Autobio comics about gay stuff. In Fun Home.
I've been looking for that doorway for a long time. Now I know.
It was not smooth, but I'm trying to expand everyone's.
lesbian
door. Well,
Guys, story. The moral of the story is take off the box. open your mind and explore Autobio comics.
And doors contain gay stuff.
Just Alison Bechdel doors. She's awesome.
Hooray!
Hooray! We're done.
Hi guys, it's Matt with your news for this week. Coming out of Marvel, remember that Spider-Man tease that was being drawn out for way too long? Well, guess what? It's still being drawn out. Here's a pic. Update. Woo! We got Peter Parker's costume. Cool. Could the other one be Miles Morales? Who knows? From Ultimate Spider-Man? Who knows? It probably is. Anyway, look for your Spider-Men's in June. Good stuff. Also, since this is coming out on Friday, this show, you have today and tomorrow, when you're watching it, to if you're a big fan of Avengers or X-Men, you can buy a digital comic on their with their web app thing and get a $5 coupon for any Marvel product at a brick and mortar comic shop. So that's like $5. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. From IDW, they recently brought the Rocketeer back for Rocketeer Adventures Volume 2. That was in March this month of 2012. And now they're doing a mini-series this summer called The Rocketeer Cargo of Doom. It's going to be done by Mark Waid and Chris Samney. So awesome. Yay, Rockets. I actually really like Rocketeer. So good news. Good news, everyone. And Studio... Dave doesn't like the Rocketeer. He's cool, okay? Anyways, Studio 407 is it's a small press, recent publisher that was started in 2006 in Hong Kong. And what they're doing is they're coming out trying to make their mark in the industry by using social media, which nobody else is doing. Like... Yeah. Anyways, sorry. I don't mean to be a dick. I just am. Anyways, so yeah, their latest stuff coming out this spring is The Golem and The Night Projectionist. There's a picture. Awesome. That's it for your news this week.
No collections this week. If you want there to be collections on the show, send me an email and invite me to your place to see your collection.
Hi guys, it's still Matt with your releases for this week. From DC, we have DMZ Volume 11, or DMZ, that doesn't have the same ring to it. But anyways, Free State's Rising Trade. Also, we've got Gone to America hardcover, if you like things about Irish immigrants. Awesome. From Vertigo. Also, Justice League of America, Dark Things trade. Dave's not a fan. Thank you, Dave, for your input. From Dynamite, we have Dark Shadows Volume 1 trade. Dave is iffy on that. He doesn't know. Yeah. Thanks, Dave. Keep it coming. From IDW, we have Torpedo, Volume 5 hardcover. I don't care what Dave thinks about this one. It's got an awesome name. Torpedo. That's cool. From Image, we've got Darkness Accursed, or Accursed. Really, either one. Doesn't matter. Volume 7, trade. In your face. And from Marvel, we've got Anita Blake, Vampire Hunter, Circus of the Damned. That's Volume 3, trade. So... if you like circuses and damnation, check it out. We've also got Deadpool Volume 10. Evil Deadpool. Hardcover. Evil Deadpool. He's probably funny, just evil funny. And also more Fear Itself every week. Fear Itself, Youth in Revolt, hardcover. Check it out. We got Legion of Monsters trade. Dave's a fan. He's bouncing. He's happy. He's good with that. And Powers, Volume 5, Anarchy. That's hardcover. So if you like Powers, then maybe splurge and get a hardcover. There's also Secret Avengers, Volume 3. This is the biggest title ever. Run the mission, don't get caught, save the world, hardcover. Yeah, that's pretty much its claim to fame. It's the longest title I've ever read. And Secret Warriors, Volume 6. If you're into secrets and or warriors, check that out. Finally, we have Thunderbolts. Great Escape trade. Woo! It's your last chance to read Thunderbolts, almost. I mean, it's going. It's going. It's going. It's going. It's going! Anyways, that's it for your releases this week. Have fun.
So that's our episode today on Quintessential Comics. I think we had a pretty good one. What do you say?
I think we did. Indeed.
Join us next week as we interview Chester Brown, the creator of Paying For It and other Autobio comics. And join us in studio for our season finale the week after that. And we'll see you next time. Same place, same time. Quintessential Comics, YouTube, Fridays, lunchtime. Thanks for watching. Hey, you might be wondering, what? The episode just ended. Why are you back here? Well, I'm telling you the ways you can support Quintessential Comics online. If you care to, please do check out our various sites and like and or comment on these videos and or other stuff I do. Firstly, check out Twitter, Tumblr, Facebook, YouTube, or the website. Thanks for your support. Love ya!